What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Listen, brother, we have a video from a brother named 40 Shams. Shout out to that boy 40 Shams, man. I would say he got some funny videos, but it's so sad that we have to come to this today. And the title says the epidemic of gifted YNs. I don't know where the word YNs came from, but I don't know. It came from somewhere. That's what I could tell you. I know it definitely came from somewhere, but we're gonna get into the video. We're gonna hear what the young lad has to say. Let's go. No, I truly want to know, like, whose father is this? And whose son is this? Whose husband, whose boyfriend is this? Because there's no way you're gonna go home and you're gonna get back accepted in wherever you go, acting like that. That is truly sad. Tough.
So you mean to tell me that we got grown men, someone's son, father, husband, getting walked like dogs in prison, and these YNs are still catching bodies like it's just another day?
You could be Space Monster. I'm socking your ass out. We going in here. And I ain't giving no nigga a pass. So don't give me no pass, because I ain't giving you no pass in here.
Fighting while you're naked?
Man, that's some West Side folks that get right up on him. Boom, bam on the dead homies. I'll whoop him, knock him out naked, dead homies. Off the back. It don't matter where you at in that off the back, I'm getting cracking. I'll over in the showers. Boom.
So you mean to tell me that we got guys who are 6'4" and up, 250 pounds and up like this dude 4 extra, and these YNs are still catching bodies in broad daylight, sometimes not even wearing a mask? Like the only thing they'll have in prison won't be their hands and maybe a sharpened toothbrush? You won't have that switch when this Avenger level threat, Thanos looking, been lifting for the past decade looking motherfucker comes after you.
If someone's curious, how do you turn someone out in prison?
Honestly, if I spot one that I think, hey, he's fresh, he's a virgin, I want that ass right there. His butt. I said, I got him. What kind of kiss was that? They kiss me again, we kiss him. And I'm hard, man. I just know it, boy. I've been waiting 5 months for this, man. I ain't masturbated to touch myself. My balls is heavy. I clam this. I kissed him. I love him so much. All that was in his butt. I pulled it out. That's what it sounded like. Juicy. I'm squeezing his breast. Then he called his chest. His breast, man. Name chest, his breast. You're a woman now. My woman. I got to get you off. You know, what level will I be if I can't get my woman out? So I'm telling you young asses, I love you. I do. When I was locked up, I loved you, man. When you come in, hey bro, who you shot at? I don't care who you shot at. I'm getting ready to shoot if you.
The more the story. You better not go to prison.
Don't go to prison, boy.
Hey, we out.
You mean to tell me that
Nah, bro, something gotta be wrong with you, bro. Now, the way he was into that, you could tell that he been doing that. Nasty motherfucker, man. Yeah, that shit crazy. That shit caught me off guard, bro. Yeah. The way he was so descriptive in that, he said he had breasts. God damn, what? Yeah, that's some shit right there, man. Yeah, nah, what?
these YNs are still risking their freedom when you got these booty bandit ass muncher gremlins like this guy behind bars? I want you to imagine your cellmate trying to kill you over your booty. That sounds crazy to even say, but that's the reality.
One kid that he was on the toilet, he was shitting, and dude came in there with a knife and said, turn around, don't even wipe.
It's dudes in there crashing out over.
Bro, did he just, what? Turn around, do what? No, turn around, bro. You gotta kill me, G. Boy, I'd rather die. I don't care. You can't pay me no money. Boy, I ain't scrapping shit, but I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my life. Man, over do what? Well, we gonna scrap today. You better stab the fuck out of me. Kill me immediately, because I'm fighting for my life, G. Hugging out.
The buns, and that's not even far-fetched because some of these guys are serving life sentences. They got nothing to lose. I mean, this guy dedicated his whole prison career towards going after YNs. He damn near got a PhD in freakiology. Dude legit might be worse than Diddy.
Physiology.
Charged as an adult in certain crimes, that the gravity was hitting him. A grand jury indictment that could come in the near future. Judge told him that he would not be seeing freedom anytime soon.
Court may impose a hold without bond. Court finds sufficient allegations to support the charges. Considering the relevant charges, he is ordered held without bond.
This moment is tough to watch, but it was something that Zaquavius Dawkins' family says they needed to be.
Listen to that, bro. Right? Why do that? Why take part in such activity? So listen, you're gonna kill somebody and feel like there's no consequences to it. It was not self-defense. You just killed him just because he was an op. Something make-believe in your head. You hate the man just because he live on a certain street. Or you hang out with certain people, up a certain amount of people. And you feel like there is no consequences to that. You must be off cocaine. You gotta be smoking that crack. Something must be wrong with you. And I don't feel sorry for you. I don't go to jail, spend the rest of your life in there.
Here for. Simpson accused of killing Dawkins Sunday night along Chester Street. Simpson also accused with attempted first-degree murder involving another victim.
And you know, at one point before reality had set in and he realized that he took someone's family member and you know, he started breaking down, I bet you he thought he was hot shit. He thought that just like every other YN out here, he was untouchable. Whether by the law or his ops, he was just above it all. But you see, you only have that impulsiveness, that crash out mentality, that I'm gonna do whatever I want to whoever I want, consequences be damned mentality. When you're in that moment and the adrenaline is rushing, when you're on that high, or like a lot of these YNs, you're on some sort of drug numbing your emotions. But see, that adrenaline, those pills, you won't have those when you're in the courtroom. When you're in that cell, you won't have those. It's just gonna be you and your thoughts. And see, I've made a bunch of videos covering the epidemic of YNs. And I honestly feel like if watching this video, especially the story I'm about to tell you, doesn't motivate you to change your life, you might be a lost cause. Meet 17-year-old high school student athlete.
Some of these young boys, you cannot save them. You cannot. Because he made the decision to be that man or become that man he is today. He know right from wrong, right? He understands that if he do certain things, there is consequences to it. But he still take part in it, expecting that nothing is gonna come out of it. So therefore, you allow him to be. He has to face that on his own. Tough.
Noah Scurry, an academically gifted kid who had the highest SAT score at his school. A kid who was described in the best light by adults and his peers.
Who was killed was exceptional. He scored remarkably high on his SATs. The star basketball player on the team here.
When you saw him around, like, you knew he brought good energy to everybody.
He was really smart too. Whenever he entered a room, the room always lit. You know, it was always a smile on somebody's face when they were around them. It's so sad to think that he died.
Brief intermission. I'm trying to get to 100K subs, so I'd appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe on this channel and on my reaction channel, 4D Shams Live. Also, join my Discord and follow me on Instagram. Love y'all. I mean, this guy just had it all. Great student, seemingly great person, and great athlete. There were even rumors that he was getting looks from D1 schools. Noah lived a superhero life. Well, I guess in this case, supervillain. During the day, he'd go to his classes and obviously excel. He'd hang out with his friends when he got the chance. And then after school, he'd go to basketball practice. But see, after clocking out from school in the basketball court, Noah would clock into the streets. Noah's street name was OTV Joker. And just like the Joker, Noah was a menace. Think of guys like King Von and Bloodhound Jeff. Yeah, he's cut from their cloth. He wasn't only going around whooping on his ops, but he allegedly caught 5 bodies. One of them allegedly being Gilly the Kid's son, Young Cheese. I'm honestly just shocked at how he was able to juggle street life and be an academic weapon at the same time. This is an Instagram story of Noah whooping on his ops, captioned, "Don't come around me claiming that fast break shit." Fast break being one of OTV's rivals, aka ops.
His face is good.
It's crazy to think how desensitized some of these kids have become to be able to do some of these things and then just carry on going to school like life is normal. I was having a conversation with a friend and we talked about how when people use guns to commit murder, it allows them to be disconnected from that murder. A lot of times.
Listen, listen, let me talk to you. The gang life is not a joke. It's not a joke. Don't think it is a joke. See, a lot of these kids growing up now, they want to take the gun and shoot somebody. That's easy to do. It's easy to shoot the gun and tote and, pull the trigger. A kid can do it, right? Again, you have to understand, like, I cannot feel sorry for none of them. Man, I won't. Because guess what? If any of them, listen, I don't care what age he is. If he's able to pull a gun and try to shoot, guess what? I'm shooting him back. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of them know right from wrong, but they will choose wrong is because it's cool and it's nice. I guarantee you, I will have no remorse in my heart for him. Absolutely none. And if I take his life, I will not feel sorry. I will not feel guilt because he called that upon himself. Right? So a lot of these young boys will say, well, I'm a gangster. A lot of them will say that, but they're not truly a gangster. You're not. Far from that. They're just emotional men. No, emotional males acting upon how they feel. That's all it is. You're not a gangster. Because you haven't seen what a real gangster is. Right? A lot of them just emotional and ready to just spaz out because they can't control their emotions. That's all it is.
These guys are doing drive-bys and shooting from afar, all while taking drugs like perks to numb their emotions. So they're not really fully experiencing the cruel, grotesque nature of murder. For example, imagine shooting someone from several feet away compared to stabbing them with a knife and having to stab them multiple times. That requires a different level of mental fortitude. That's something that would legit leave you with some next level PTSD. Now compare that to pulling the trigger while sitting in a car and then driving away, or pulling the trigger from a distance. Like, yes, you'll probably see the body drop, but that's probably as far as it'll get. After that, these kids are able to go home and probably see what they did on the news. And see, just like Noah's victims, Noah's actions eventually caught up to him and he became someone else's victim. After dropping this diss track with the rest of the OTV crew, tragedy would befall Noah.
Hey, I'm thirsty to swing that door. Talking about bees and I'm up like 4. Forever going on to the cold, can't break, won't fold, nigga, that's how I go. 15 going on hits, start popping them perks, nigga, that's how I turn to a goblin.
And I want y'all to notice how he said 15 going on hits, popping them perks, that's how I turn to a goblin. Remember earlier how I said these YNs will use these drugs to kind of numb their emotions to be able to commit these heinous acts? The drugs allow them to do a lot of the things that they do, because for any normal human in their standard mental state, they can't commit these type of crimes. Humans have too many mental and societal deterrents preventing them from committing such acts. But with these new age drugs, you can legit silence your better judgment. But see, the downside is if you're not mentally ill or some sort of serial killer, you need to perpetually take these drugs to deal with the PTSD and cope with the actions that you've committed. Even known killer King Von was on meth when he died.
No care for my rap, I'm thugging.
You gon' need another hand shot count on my body. She fuck, I done finally got it. I do a bitch spam, the bitch tryna line me. Outside on the 4 5 deep in the John. All these niggas keep telling when they ask about bodies.
And it never made sense to me how these rappers will get on a track and basically self-incriminate. They'll talk about how many bodies they have and they'll give these hints and detailed descriptions about how they killed someone. I know the FBI and CIA are probably more excited than anyone else when these rappers drop new music, because they're basically doing their job for them. But back to Noah Scurry. See, after making a YouTube channel just to drop this diss track, the next morning as he's getting in the car, about to be driven to school by his mom, one of his ops runs up and he gets fatally shot.
A teenager is gunned down in an alleyway behind his home. Noah Scurry is being remembered for his performance both in the classroom and on the basketball court. Games have now been canceled for the rest of the week as the school community mourns his death.
Once again, Noah Scurry was only 17 years old. Anyone with further information is asked to contact the police.
Do you see how lack of guidance, what that does to a kid? Lack of guidance is, I guarantee he had no father. I guarantee the mom couldn't speak to him. So he lacked the guidance he needed, which put him in a place where he felt like I'm a grown man and I can do whatever I want. And look at where that got him. Dead at 17 years old, when he was supposed to be living his life and enjoying his teenage years. Now somebody came up and shot him just because he shot and killed a whole bunch of people already. Do you see how sad that is? That a young man who was doing good in school and good at sports still died because of the life choices he wanted to make outside of school in the real world. That is sad. But now he's gone. He's fully gone. You can't get him back. But you can't fully feel sorry for him because he called that upon his own self. Sad to see, but now he's gone.
And one of the things I really hate about this situation is that even though he knew he had enemies and people who were coming after his life, he was still hanging around his mom. He was putting her in harm's way just by letting her be around him. And just like Noah was making diss tracks about the people that he's killed, his ops also made diss tracks when he was murdered.
Like what? Did what Batman couldn't do this, put the Joker down. Baby Joker this, where the jokes is over now. He got flame bullets burning his wings, he finally gonna be in hell.
And what was Noah's reward for catching these bodies and hurting all these people just to impress other misguided kids? His reward was a couple IG story posts and some of his crewmates saying that certain people didn't kill him, along with basically saying that they're gonna commit more crimes and more murders to avenge him, continuing the cycle. On top of that, Noah kind of just jump-started his friend's career because ever since he passed away, the video has been gaining traction. It's sitting at 1 million views right now in 2 weeks. And his friend who you saw in the music video made a song called Joker 8 days ago, which right now is sitting at 47,000 views. And I bet you the views are only gonna keep going up because controversy sells. This might be the birth of a whole new Philly drill scene, just like we saw back in the day in Chicago when rappers would talk about killing and then people would end up dead, and that whole controversy would lead to more views and streams. In one of my past videos, I made the argument that you can always change your life around and that your actions determine your fate. I truly and genuinely believe that a majority of people who are in street life don't have to be a part of it, and even if they're presently in it, they can make the active choice to grow past it, because otherwise it comes with some pretty grave consequences. A perfect example is Kyron Lacey, someone who's constantly acting like a YN even though he attends a D1 football college program and he's a star player. These are some of the things that I said about people who fit his archetype before people started getting mad in the comments. There's so many people who wish they had the opportunity to even experience one day in his life, and I already know someone's gonna come in my comments talking about, oh, some of us actually did grow up in that environment. Some of these dudes are actually street dudes. And to those people, I just want to tell you, I don't care. If God bless you.
Listen, look at true gangsters do not act gangster at all. And that's what a lot of the young fellas like get wrong. A man who's a true gangster or true killer, I'm speaking to true gangsters and true killers, they never go throwing a gun at nobody. They don't say nothing. They don't speak too much. They keep their composure. Now, if you mess with them, they'll take your life and you would never know they take your life because they don't talk. They don't sit there and endlessly just give the police or whoever evidence against them. True killers and true gangsters are some of the calmest people you ever saw or you ever speak to. Because the way they speak very formally. A true gangster will never come to you and say, I'm a gangster and I will shoot you. He never tell you that. He come with you with respect. He talk to you like a regular person. He will never threaten you. Never. A true gangster know his place. He know what he's capable of doing, so he'd have to prove himself to you. Because if you mess with him, then he will show you how much of a killer he is, how much of a gangster he is. But he never comes with that at first. He comes with respect. Right? So a true gangster is a man who's very laid back. Right? The people who have to constantly try to show you he's a gangster, he's not truly a gangster. He's not. He's not. Sorry.
With the opportunity to go D1 and possibly get the chance to go to the NFL, at some point you gotta learn how to grow out of that hood mentality. Now, I'm not saying lose touch with who you are and where you come from, but you definitely gotta start carrying yourself differently. And this is strictly my opinion, but college football players, especially D1 college football players, the ones who get most of the publicity, the ones that get the NIL deals, you know, the ones who have little kids watching them, probably obsessed with them, need to not be doing these little YN stunts, acting like they're Swiss cheesing someone, not having decorum on the field, field, because let's be real, once you make it to that D1 status, especially if you're performing well, your life becomes too high profile for you to even consider living that type of lifestyle. After posting that video, people who know nothing about my personal life came in the comments and said, you know nothing about street life, and they basically made the argument that a lot of people are born into this lifestyle. Which may be true, but that doesn't mean you can't change. And for all those people who didn't hear me out, Kyra Lacey's currently facing charges of negligent homicide after a deadly crash. According to reports, his victim was a Marine veteran. Lacey was allegedly driving a 2023 Dodge Charger on Louisiana Highway 20 and recklessly passed multiple vehicles at a high rate of speed by crossing the center line and entering the northbound lane while in a designated no passing zone. So dude was speeding in a Dodge Charger and driving recklessly. Now I'm not trying to play into stereotypes, but that's something that most YNs do. And I hope no one thinks that I'm trying to use this as a I told you so type of moment, because this is genuinely sad. Dude had a bright future ahead of him. But one thing I did realize, however, is that no matter what type of background these guys come from, they'll end up going down the path of a YN if that's what they resolve to do. A perfect example of that is 4X.
Listen, every single human have free will. You pick whatever you want to do. You're in charge of the things you'd select to do. So if you do something bad, guess what? That is all on you. You cannot blame nobody else. Because you have understanding and reasoning within your mind, within your own mind. You choose to follow the crowd and be a bad person, be a degenerate. You blame other people. You want to blame other people just because you took a certain path in life. But you know that it will have consequences. You know that. You know if you to do the bad things, there's something bad is going to come out of it. We all have an understanding because we all seen it already. But some people would ignore it and still do it again and want people to feel sorry for them. Well, I can't feel sorry for you. Not one bit. I will not and will never feel sorry for you, actually, because you got what you deserve. You want to follow the crowd and not make your own decision on who you are? Guess what? You get a taste of your own medicine now. It's sweet, isn't it? So,
Although he's a renowned gangbanger now, he admitted to coming from a two-parent household with parents who worked good jobs. On top of that, his father strongly advised him against street life.
I started off young, 11. Off the back, I'm born and raised in the hood.
Okay.
On Western Vernon. I'm born and raised in the set, in the 40s, South Central. Off the back, whole family from the set.
And did you have anybody trying to keep you away from this life?
Hell yeah, my dad. My dad and my mom. But my dad for sure. He for sure, he was trippy, you know.
But he was from the same hood?
No, my dad don't back.
He wasn't, okay.
No, hell no. He went to school, graduated and all that. You know what I'm talking about? Been to the Army. You know what I'm talking about? He believe in, you know, education is the key.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't believe in the gang stuff. You know what I'm saying? My pops was hot when he found out. My pops found out when I was 12 though. He found out when I was going to school at Horseman. The principal called him in here. She like, your son bang. He like, my son don't bang. He like, your son do bang. He like, man, look at the tattoo on his back. And when he seen the photo on my back, he went up.
Although 4Extra was surrounded by street life in his neighborhood, he had a real life example within his household that he didn't have to go down that path. And although I am a strong believer that every human has the right to make their own decisions, these are some of the consequences of those decisions.
Shit, I was in it. I went to jail at 12 anyway. Attempted murder with my homie. Juvenile life. I stayed in there from 12 all the way up to 16. And they found us not guilty. On a sudden, they kicked us out. When I got out at 16, I came right back like shit 8 months later for a blower.
So yes, your environment can definitely influence you. But for people to think that your environment makes you 100% of who you are is flawed thinking.
absolutely. Your environment definitely have a impact on you. Absolutely. Yes, and it does create you into. It does have an impact on who you're going to be when you get older. But again, you still have choice. You still have understanding. You still have the will to do better. And don't say, but I'm from a certain neighborhood, so I take part in certain activity. That is a lie, because you want to follow it. What is the problem with people? Is you steady looking for an excuse. You steady looking for a way out. Yes, your environment was bad, but does that mean you do bad things? Does that mean you do bad things?
It just takes more strength of character to not let yourself get sucked into that cycle. So yes, your environment can definitely influence you, but for people to think that your environment decides 100% of who you are is flawed thinking. But for people to think that your environment decides 100% of who you are and who you become is flawed thinking. It just takes more strength of character to not let yourself get sucked into that cycle.
That's why these writers kept writing written by himself, written by herself, Phyllis Wheatley, Frederick, because they thought Negroes couldn't read and write. They thought Negroes didn't have the capacity to read and write, and yet they made all the laws to stop us from learning how to do what? Read and write. If we can't read and write, what you trying so hard to stop us for? And the answer is because America has always known what you are. America has always known who you are. America has understood what you're capable of, and they will make you think you ain't nothing at the same time that they exploit your gifts. They'll tell you you lazy and make you a slave. They'll tell you you dirty and have you clean their house. They'll tell you you uncivilized, and we raise their children. They know who you are. But it's time that you listen to who you are, that you understand who you are.
If you made it this far, I appreciate you so much for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and turn on post notifications for me. And if you want to join the 4D fam and be a part of 4D World, go ahead and join my Discord channel. And if you didn't know, your boy definitely knows how to put that shit on, so go ahead and follow my Instagram. I'm gonna be dropping heat on there very soon. All links are in the
You know, that's my thing. It is. When people know who you are, they can dictate how you do things and how you carry yourself and how you view your own self. That's the problem for our people, is that they allow other people to dictate who we are. I will never do that. Because if we truly know ourselves as black folk, we would have been in such a better place. We wouldn't be struggling so much, right? Our women would be in line. We would be in a better place as men, right? So due to the fact that we have allowed somebody else to dictate who we are and tell us who we are, that it just messes our psyche. It scarred us so deep on a psychological level that we can never fully regain who we are and understand who we are. We could break from it, but it's, you know, it's psychological, so it's so deep that we cannot fully even have an understanding of it. And that's the sad part of what our people is going through. But only we could change that. We can't blame nobody else. Only we could change it. But if you like the video, leave a like, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.